you again, Bob, for being here with us today to answer these questions for us. It means the most. Question 1. Would you support rehabbing, expanding, better utilizing our existing homes and storefronts?
Yeah, I'm for anything that's going to make our city beautiful. So renovating them and green spacing them, whatever you want to do, I'm for that. I'd be for that.
Awesome. Thank you. Is our main street downtown healthy and successful? Yes or no? If not, what would you do to change that?
Well, it's no, for sure. It's actually ugly to me. And what you do is if you have a better police department, and you don't have to be forceful, you just have to know how to talk to people that are homeless, that are sleeping on your steps. And if you have the right leadership, you can change a lot of things with law and order. Speeding cars or people that are laying in our doorsteps downtown. I mean, I've caught people downtown urinating in doorsteps. Those are laws that you can't be doing. We know there's a lot of things we can't do to the homeless. You can't tell them to move, but if you have the right sergeants and street cops, not the administrators, if you have the right people that know how to talk to people, you can clean up the city. You can clean the city up to law and order. Just stop the bad drugs coming into the city. We used to be pretty good at that. But downtown, I'm not sure what's going to work. All I know is this, I just keep going from my house to my porch for packages that are coming in from Amazon and everybody else. I think storefronts right now in Lowell, you got nail shops, hair shops, those are the things that work. We should have years ago made Lowell a partying city because that's what it is. And instead they've hurt all the businesses, all your bars that sell alcohol, they're hurting. And there's just so much we can do, but number one to me would be law and order. We need to change our police. I know a lot of them, and they think the city's gone. And when you have a morale like that with police, you can't fix anything. You won't fix it. You need a good police department, a great one. We have a good one, we need a great one. So that's my main issue, actually. It's always police. I get that. Doesn't matter. Thanks. But I could talk on this issue a little bit more, but our downtown to me is a disgrace, and it's been a disgrace for quite a while. And I feel bad for the businesses that are down there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Number 3, would you vote in support of a motion allocating from a city budget for incarcerated people who are being released back into society?
Well, let me tell you, here we go. I feel that there's nothing more important than this UTEC. I've only been in it twice in my whole life. I've kind of stayed away from it a little bit. I was still a prison guard at the time. But when I retired, my main goal was to come to Lowell, and I did run for the school committee. When I left the prisons, I said, I'm going to try to keep these Puerto Rican kids in school because they end up in jail if they drop out of school. The difference between my age group and the young kids today, they don't have the U.S. Army. I had it. I dropped out of high school, and I got elected to your school committee 4 different times, and I'm a dropout. I had 1 of 6 votes on a $200 million budget. There's nothing more important in schools, okay? But when you drop out of school, which our dropout rate is tripled right now, it doesn't matter what your race is, it's tripled. What does that mean to me? Your prisons are going to get more people because these poor kids can't join the army like I did. They would take a dropout. Today they got nowhere to go. They got UTEC. And believe me, when you find out what kind of money comes at UTEC, listen, if I get any message sent through this TV today, we got about 70 extra $1 million coming into Lowell. Do you think UTEC will get any of it? I'll tell you what. I know there's probably $200 to $300 million in requests from nonprofits that want that money. And let me tell you, if I was already elected, I'd be looking to get a small piece, not a big piece, but for this program, because there's not enough. There's not enough of programs to get some young kid that comes out of prison. Where's he going? Where's he going to go? In the bushes, what I've been telling you about? Are they going to turn to drugs? They can't get a great job. So UTEC to me, I've been saving this for a long time. It's a great program. And if I ever get elected, I would fight for some money for this type of program, for UTEC type of programs, I would. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So question number 4, as UTEC we value equality. We as organizers try to decrease racism and violence in the streets. How would you vote on a motion that says racism is a public health issue?
Well, I had a vote on that before, and I would vote against that. I believe Lowell is a great place. I've been all over America. I think I'm from the housing projects. I'm from a place that you don't feel comfortable living in because your mother was 16 when she had you, and you had to grow up in a housing, and you hear jokes about like things in Lowell. You'd hear 1,300 liquors, 1,400 motors, and 1,500 Puerto Ricans. That's what I used to hear back in my days. That's a joke of people my color. That's what used to happen in Lowell. And that's what I'm hoping that stops. But I would never vote for that issue. I didn't vote for it before, and I won't vote for it again because I got faith in people, and I think Lowell is a tremendous place to live, and I've been all over the country. And I think the reason why we have a lot of different nationalities that come to Lowell is because they know we're open arms. We're an open arms city. Oh yeah, and I know it's not fair. I know things aren't fair yet. So if you're talking that word equity, it gets me in a lot of trouble sometimes. But I'll say this, I've been waiting for almost 40 years for this city to be equal, treat us equally. Because we always had a thing against Belvedere that controls the voting in the city. Now we're being sued, all right, to change the way we vote, and we are changing it. And guess what? I was against that, and I think I was wrong. I think I was wrong now, because this change is coming. Some real good change that I've been waiting for years. I've been fighting this. Change this city up, because to me, the Belvedere section, and sometimes in the Highlands, but mostly Belvedere, has been a swamp that needs to be cleaned up. And that's when we'll get equity squared away. After this election, I see a bright future for my 5 grandchildren, and I do see a brighter future for the Puerto Ricans that I keep talking about. Because I was in the school system for 7 years, okay? Go look at that population and see who needs help, okay? It's about Black Lives Matter. The blacks we have at Lowell High School, most of them are from Africa, and they're going to great colleges. The problems that I want fixed are for the Puerto Rican people. That's who I want it fixed for. And I'm going to fight for that. And I've been fighting for that for 25 years, so thanks for the time here.
Thank you again. Just one last question, if you don't mind. Number 5, do you support having our own version of the carry-als law?
Could you repeat that question, please?
Do you support having your own version of the carry-als law? Having our own version of the carry-als law. If you need me to explain what that law is, I can.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
So the carry-als law, Buffalo police officer carry horn. A series of laws that make it a crime for a law enforcement officer to fail to intervene when another officer is using excessive force, and also protects whistleblowers. Included in carry-als law was a provision, retroactive protection for officers, which allows an officer found to have been terminated for reporting the objectively unreasonable use of force against a civilian or intervening to stop the use of objectively unreasonable force by a fellow officer within the 20-year period preceding the adoption of the law, to have that finding reviewed by a court.
That's quite a lot, and I'm glad you asked that question, but after hearing you speak about it, I can only speak as a prison guard working in a place that we have to sometimes cuff up a person or restrain them because they might have a problem going on. No one would ever violate any law in front of me, especially if you were doing something illegal, like have a knee on somebody. I don't care what it is. If you were doing something like that, I worry about my job because I want that check to come to my house, my pension check. And I wouldn't let anybody, because I had a backbone. That's what I had. You don't let other people hurt somebody in front of you. Your job as a prison guard or a police officer, your number one thing is to protect life. That's your number one thing, protection of life. You've got to make sure everybody around you is safe, and if you see something that you think that person could be hurt, how dare you not speak up, okay? To me, I don't care what type of pressure you're up against. I've been called every name as a prison guard, the N name, an S lover. You name it, I was called everything because I treated everybody in prison fairly. And I love to make certain comments, and I made one when I got elected to the Lowell School Committee years ago. 1995. I said, if the children could vote, I'd win by a landslide. Well, today I'm going to tell you something. If inmates, I've been out of there 12 years, but if inmates can vote or they are voting, I might win. I might come in third because I know what type of person I was, and we're not perfect. Police departments are not perfect. Got a lot of people in my department, prison guards, I think maybe were loaded on steroids. Some of them come to work, they put the badge on, they think they're more powerful than they are. All you gotta do is treat people fairly. That's all you have to do, it's simple. And if you want me to explain it, I can explain it a little better. Let's say you're in prison and you wanna call your wife at home. They got a phone list. Put your name on the list, that's what I used to tell them. I had 90 of them to make sure they stay clean and they got toilet paper and they could, and what's my boss is worrying about? The dust on the floor. They're not worried about if someone had some toothpaste or a roll of toilet paper or getting a phone call or getting a visit, and nobody's messing with visits. All I ever did was guys that would come up and say, hey, hold on, Irish like you, can you jump me on that phone list? I'd say, hey, go get Carlos and see if he'll let you have his slot. And that's all you gotta do. You know, I mean, look at Day to Day at Lowell for years, folks. Go look at, you remember Day to Day in the newspaper? Mm-hmm. It would give you all the guys that violate things. Go look back. I used to look at it. A person like me, guess what I did? I get a call. Hey, watch out, they're having a DUI stop in front of Keith Academy. And then you look at Day to Day, right? 20 people names, 18 Puerto Ricans. I'm just saying the way it is. I hope that changes. Oh, it's the truth. No. I'm not afraid to say it. You get a white guy once in a while, but he didn't live in Lowell. The white guy would be from Burlington. He had too many drinks. They'll bust the white guy from Burlington. But in Lowell, in that police department, they saved my son's life. My son's still alive, barely, but he has a major drug problem. But he wouldn't be here today if it wasn't the cops. And we have some great cops. I don't want people to, misunderstand me. We just need to fix the police department. First thing I would do, wellness for police department people, just like me. I needed wellness in a prison. When you stand there and see people put razor blades down their arm or swallow bed springs or hang themselves, you don't think cops and prison guards need wellness programs? Of course they do. They don't need an administration going down their throat, because our police department to me is gone. All right, I'm sorry to scare you. It's gone. And we need to fix it, not destroy it. We need to repair it. Lowell's a great city. I'm telling you, I've lived here a long time. And I feel safe in the city, but I don't feel good about what's coming. And I hope that I help to stop it. So, if you got any more, I'm ready. I want to fire all my cylinders in this place today.
Thank you. That was the last of our questions, but I really appreciate it.
This has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time too, pal.
Of course, thank you.
Yep.